And welcome back to Hannity. From the Obamacare train wreck to the negotiations with terrorists in Tehran, it's no secret that, in my opinion, President Obama is in way over his head. Joining me now with his take, author of Miracles and Massacres, True and Untold Stories of the Making of America. And, of course, he hosts his own radio show, nationally syndicated, and he runs The Blaze, which is one of the top websites now in the country. Glenn Beck, sir, how are you?
Thank you very much. I'm very good, Sean.
Well, happy holidays to you. And, why is there, I consider myself a Tea Party conservative. I think you do, too. Mm-hmm. Why are the establishment Republicans now fighting the guys like Lee and Cruz and Rand and Marco? Why this divide?
Really? You want me to answer that?
I really want you.
I'd love to.
I want you to.
Yeah. Progressivism. You remember when I went to CPAC, 4 years ago, and made the Republicans very uncomfortable because I said progressivism isn't a disease that just runs in the Democrats, it runs in the Republicans. And I wrote down John McCain's name and Lindsey Graham's name. There's a lot of progressive Republicans, and you have to remember, Theodore Roosevelt is the guy who started it. They believe in big government. And I'm sorry to say, Sean, and you know this to be true, we send people in there, and it's like sending them to the lion's den, just waiting to be eaten by the machine that is Washington now. There are people that are more interested in keeping their cushy jobs and keeping their lifestyle and all of their perks and benefits than actually doing what's right for the country and following the Constitution.
You know, this battle does go back a long time. You can take it back to Goldwater, Nixon. You know, everyone in the Republican Party gives lip service to Reagan, but Reagan challenged a sitting Republican president in 1976. Mm-hmm. That's kind of Tea Party-ish to me.
They said the same thing about Ronald Reagan in 1976, that he was going to destroy the Republican Party. They said that he shouldn't have done that in 1976. They said that he was a loose cannon. They called him every name in the sun. They wouldn't welcome Ronald Reagan in. For all the people in the Republican Party that quote Ronald Reagan, and all the people now, strangely, like the president loves Ronald Reagan. Yeah. They're all saying, oh, Ronald Reagan, he was a... No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He was saying exactly the same thing. Many people who are now having stones thrown at them by the Republican establishment, he was saying the same thing.
Yeah. When you look at the state of the economy, Obamacare, the disaster, the rise and the ever-growing government, deficits, debt, doubling of the people on welfare, what do you think in the privacy? I know you spend a lot of time reading, and you now have become a student of history. What do you think privately is going to happen to this country?
I think that we are
in trouble.
Yeah, and I think that we are in a situation that we will either rise to the occasion and be our best selves. I saw something that happened over the weekend, Sean, a poll that came out. I know you must have talked about it today. 70% of Americans don't trust each other. They think only 30% of this country you can trust. If that remains true, well, we then become Europe. We have to trust each other. We have to be our better selves. Otherwise, we break up and we never come back. I think there's personally a very good chance that with the Mike Lees and the Ted Cruzes of the world, that there is a chance that we do to the Republican Party what the Whigs, what happened to the Whigs. They just went away. There was no third party. The Republicans, there were 20 of them, and in 1853 and by 1860, they had a president elected. And I think that can happen in a faster time because of the internet. If people stick to their principles and the people of the country remain good and decent to each other. But if we start to believe these things that, we're all playing the game knockout and we're all fighting over, and a few extra bucks for a discounted TV, we're doomed. We're doomed.
Aren't there some easy answers? There was once a great inventor that said, and it stuck with me, the obvious, which is often unseen until someone expresses it simply. For example, in your book, I know you talk about a lot of people and you delve into history and stuff, Thomas Edison, et cetera. Mm-hmm. But isn't, for example, cutting 1 penny out of every dollar that government spends every year for 5 years and you get to a balanced budget, isn't that a simple idea? Isn't drilling like they're doing in North Dakota and Midland, Texas, where they're creating jobs and lessening our dependence on foreign oil, isn't that one of the simple answers?
Yeah, I do. But I don't think anybody in Washington on either side is actually looking for an answer. I think there are some in Washington, but they're in the minority, and in the minority, the great minority in the Republican Party that are actually looking for answers. And the longer we go, the more simple, but the less easy those answers become.
All right, we got to take a break. Much more with Glenn Beck coming up right after the break. Later tonight, this father, he was told that his 18-month-old daughter would not be covered under his Obamacare family plan and that he had to get the toddler her own insurance. Now, he also got canceled, and this was new insurance, and he's paying more, and he can't keep his doctor. Now he needs 2 plans for his family. This incredible Obamacare horror story. We'll tell you about it when we come back. Plus, we're going to check back in one last time with Ainsley Earhart. There she is. She's monitoring healthcare.gov and Facebook tonight, all night for you to see if it's actually fixed. Straight ahead.